Welcome to our last video of the day. So today we're going to finish off with a math lesson, and we are on, I think, our fourth lesson in chapter 11. And in chapter 11, we know we're learning all about measurement. We've learned how to measure things using their length, how long they are, length, long. We can measure how tall they are, that's their height, right? And today we're going to learn another way to measure, and that's using their weight, or how heavy or light they are. Okay, so I need you to go and get your blue Go Math workbooks and a pencil and an eraser. Okay, we are going to compare weights. That means we're going to learn all about what weight is and how we can compare two objects and see which one weighs more than another. Here we go. Here's our handy little light bulb, and he's asking, what is weight? And here's Miss Paulino down there. Weight is how heavy something is. So remember I talked about when you go to the doctors and you stand up and the doctor will take your height and write it down, or like that one time in class that Miss Paulino took your height? Yeah. Well, sometimes when you're at the doctor's, there's something you step on. It's called a scale. And when you step on it, it tells you how much you weigh. And we've actually done that in class too at the beginning of the year. Miss Paulino wanted to track how tall and how much more you weighed by the end of the year, so hopefully we still can do that. And if not, we can just see how much you've grown anyways. So weight is how heavy something is. You can measure weight using a scale, or you could use your hands. So this is a type of scale, and it's balancing on a triangle, right, or a stand. The scale that you stood on was balancing on something, but it was balancing on 4 little legs, and it just took your weight. But this type of a scale will lean, kind of like a teeter-totter at a park. And you can use your hands. So let me give you an example. I can hold something in this hand, and I can hold something in this hand. And I can see, well, this one is heavier than this. So different types of measuring weight. And you can compare the weight of 2 or more objects, just like I showed you. I was comparing the pencil was lighter and the drink was heavier. The drink weighed more. So the first term we're going to talk about is heavier than. And heavier than starts with the letter H. Heavier than. Heavier than means to weigh more. So my drink was heavier than the pencil. Look at the girl. There's the girl here. She is holding an apple and a pencil. So she has an apple in this hand and a pencil in this hand. She knows that the apple is heavier than the pencil because the apple weighs more. So the apple weighs more than the pencil. So the apple is heavier. Can you say heavier? Good. Let's see them on a scale. So remember how the scale I showed you was like this? But what happens when you put a big apple on one side and a little pencil on the other side? It will start to tilt. The apple is heavier than the pencil, which means the heavier object goes down. So this side of the scale went down because this is heavier than this. Good. The next term we're going to learn is lighter than, and lighter than starts with the letter L. Lighter than. Lighter than means to weigh less. Look at the girl. She is holding an apple and a pencil. She knows that the pencil is lighter than the apple because it weighs less. It's not as heavy. So If it's not as heavy, the pencil is lighter than the apple. Let's see them on a scale. So you have your apple and you have your pencil. We know that the apple's heavier, so the scale goes down, right? But we also see the pencil, and the pencil is lighter, which means the lighter object, I'm going to move out of the way. Beep. The lighter object goes up on the scale. So heavier goes down, lighter goes up. Same thing when I'm holding two objects in my hands. The cup is heavier, so it's down here. But this is so easy to hold because it's a light pencil. The pencil is lighter than the cup, and the cup or the drink is heavier than the pencil. This one's heavy, but this one's light. We can also say about the same. The word same starts with the letter S. About the same. Look, there's sneaky letter E. I forgot to tell you. Look, same. About the same means to have similar weight. Look at the girl. She is holding a red apple and a green apple. See the red and the green apples? She knows that the apples weigh about the same because they have similar weight. Let's see them on a scale. There's the red apple, there's the green apple. Now they weigh the same, so not one is heavier than the other. They're about the same. So the scale doesn't go up and down, it stays level. And they are the same weight. When objects weigh the same, the scale remains flat. So look at the scale. It stays flat. Let's practice comparing weights. And that was silly. There's a boy and a girl. Find two objects at home. Put one object in your left hand and the other in your right hand. Which object is heavier? So go on a hunt. Go find two things. And they can be whatever you want. Ready? Go. Okay, I found two things. Did you find two things? All right, my two things that I found, the first one is a hair clip, and the next one is a little plant. Now, it says to put one object in one hand and another object in another. So I'm going to put my clip in one hand, and I put my plant in another one. Which object is heavier? Well, this one's heavier. If I had to hold this for a long time, my hand would get tired. This one is heavier than the clip. The clip is lighter than the plant. Which one weighs more? My plant weighs more because it's heavier. Which one of your objects is heavier? Good. Which one of your objects is lighter? Good. Which one weighs more? The heavier one weighs more. So my plant is heavier than my clip. Good job. Okay, let's go ahead and open up our Chapter 11 workbooks. I know it says Chapter 10 on there, but it should be Chapter 11. And you're going to open up to the page that looks like this. And the last page I think you worked on was your mid-chapter checkpoint. So it should be a page over. And it has a boy and he's holding two objects. Good. Let's listen to our title.
Compare weights. Essential question. How can you compare the weights of two objects?
Well, we talked about comparing weights. We said the different ways that we could weigh them is by using a scale or by using our hands, right? So here's the picture of the boy, and I want you to take a second and see what he's holding. So in one hand, it looks like he's holding a little block. In another hand, it looks like he's holding a book. Look at the picture. Compare the weights of the two objects, which is the block and the book. Use the words heavier than, lighter than, or about the same to describe the weights. Okay, well, I'm looking at the two things, and I think that the book is heavier than the block. And I think that because it's down here and this one's up here. And I know if I was holding a heavy book or a tiny little toy block, I know the book would be heavier. Or you could say, the block is lighter than the book. And I know the block is lighter than the book because it doesn't weigh as much. I want you to trace a circle around the lighter object. So the lighter one. Which one's lighter? The block. Good. Now trace an X on the heavier object. Which object weighs more than the other? The book is heavier. Good. Nice job. Keep your work. Let's flip to the next page. Take your Post-it or your bookmark with you. Find red apple number 1. This is a
Share and show.
good.
Left.
The green hand is left and the red hand is your
Right.
just like we say, put your right hand on your heart. Yeah? Right? And Miss Paulina taught you a trick. If you make L's, which one is right? This one looks correct. So this must be my left and this one must be my right. I'm trying not to confuse you because I'm backwards. Okay, find red apple number 1. I see a pair of scissors, do you? Good. Find an object in the row and hold it in your left hand. So the first object we need to find is a pair of scissors. So I have a pair of scissors at home. Hopefully you do too. And if not, it's okay. Please don't run with your scissors. You need to carefully walk with them. So the first object I have is scissors. In our right hand, you need to find the rest of the objects and take turns holding each object in your right hand. And then, okay, so if you can find a paper clip in your house, you can use a paper clip. I don't think I have any paper clips here. So I'm just going to leave that one blank. And then you need to try to find a book and a rubber band. So you can find these objects around your house. And you know what? This is going to be kind of difficult because we're not in the classroom together. So I'm going to go over the directions for this whole page, and then you can do it on your own at home. So first, before you go look, you're going to find all the objects in your house if you can find them. And if you can't find them, it's okay. I can't find all of them either. We're just going to leave it blank, okay? What you're going to do is on this side, you're going to hold all these objects in your left hand. And on this side, you're going to hold all these objects in your right hand. And for number 1, you need to trace the object that's heavier. So I'll put a little H here. Find the ones that are heavier. In row number 2, and trace a circle around it. So circle the ones that are heavier. For row number 2, circle the objects that are heavier. So same directions as number 1. For numbers 3 and 4, circle the objects that are lighter. So I'll put an L for lighter. And on this row, circle the objects that are lighter. And you're comparing them to the scissors in the first row. In the second row, you're comparing it to a workbook. In the third row, you're comparing it to a marker. And in the fourth row, you're comparing it to an eraser. And now, like I said, I know this is kind of hard because I'm not with you. So mom and dad's going to have to help you with the directions on this page. And the only reason I'm not going to go through all of them with you is because it's going to take us forever to find all these things, and I can't even find all of them. So if you can't find something, just skip it. But I want you to try to do these ones. Again, for row number 1, hold these ones in your left hand, and then find these objects and hold it in your right hand. For 1 and 2, circle the objects that are heavier. For 3 and 4, circle the objects that are lighter. And you're comparing it to this side here. Okay, I'm going to trust that you do that on your own, okay? And I want to know what you find so you can take a picture and show me this page on Dojo, okay? All right, good luck with that one. I know it'd be so much easier if we were in the classroom together and we can experiment. That would be so much fun. So our directions for this page here, take your post and your bookmark and find purple butterfly number 5. And I see 2 big yellow oval-ish shaped, squared oval shapes. And I see, I think it's a grasshopper. Now, our directions say to find a book in the classroom. Okay, well, Miss Paulino has a book right here. I got a cookbook. You can find a book at your house, too. I have a book here. And it says, find a classroom object that's lighter than the book. So I have a book here, and I found a pencil here. Now, draw it in the workspace. Which one is lighter, the book or the pencil? The lighter object is the pencil. So I'm going to draw what's lighter inside the bubble. So I know that the pencil's lighter, so I'm going to draw my pencil. I know my pencil's lighter than the book. Good job. Excuse me. Okay, find brown acorn number 6. Now, have your book in one hand. This time, find an object that's heavier than the book. Heavier than the book? All right, I'm going to go find something. Okay. I found something heavier than the book. It's this big plant. And even though the book is bigger than the plant, really it is, this plant is really heavy. It's got dirt inside and rocks, and it's a real plant. It's heavier. So in the box down below, you're going to draw what's heavier. What did you find in your house that's heavier? So I'm going to draw cylinder. I'm going to draw my plant. Okay, so you make sure on the top one you draw what you found that's lighter, and in the bottom one you draw a picture of what's heavier. And you're comparing the lighter and the heavier one both to a book, okay? All right. If you need to pause it, you can. We're going to move on to the next page, and it's our last one for today. Take your Post-it or your bookmark with you. And on this page we are
problem solving, applications.
So we're going to problem solve things that can happen in real life. So find pink heart number 7, put your finger on it. Draw to show what you know about comparing weights of 2 objects. Tell a friend about your drawing. Okay, so what you need to do is you're going to find 2 random things at your house. I'm going to use the same one I've been using earlier today, my drink and my pencil. And I'm going to show me comparing the weights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a scale. And I already know which one's heavier. I know my drink is heavier and my pencil is lighter. So I'm going to draw a scale that's slanted. like that. And I'm going to put my heavier one over here on the bottom because I know it's so heavy it's going to drop down. So I'm putting my drink over here. And on this side, I'm going to do my pencil. Now, I'm going to explain it. My drink is heavier than my pencil, so it goes down. My pencil is lighter than my drink, so it goes up. This one goes up because it's lighter, and the drink goes down because it's heavier. Go ahead and find two objects. Which one's heavier and which one's lighter? Go ahead and draw it. Good job, boys and girls. That is it for today's lesson. If I'm moving too fast, remember you can always pause the video and play it. And we're going to put our bookmark on the next page so that we're ready for tomorrow's lesson, and the next page that has a cat. Great job. So we just learned how to measure weight by using words heavier than, lighter than, or what we really didn't talk about was about the same. If I'm holding my pencil and my scissors, these are actually a really light pair of scissors. These two are about the same. Not one is heavier than the other. So good job with weight, boys and girls. I wish we were together in the classroom so that we can go on the hunt and look at all the different objects that we got to put in our hands for that one page. But you can try it at home, and if you don't find the objects, that's okay. I don't have everything here either. Okay, so I will see you. Oh, this is our last video today. Make sure you did our reading video and our decodable book video, and the math video is done. Tomorrow, don't forget, we have a Zoom meeting with Mrs. Schroeder's class. Woohoo! At 10 in the morning, 10 a.m. Don't forget to go on Zoom. We're going to read a story together, okay? All right, I can't wait. I'll see you tomorrow at 10. Bye-bye.